So today we're here with
Father Jeff Goeckner.
Father Jeff Goeckner. Father, where are you from?
I'm from Bishop Creek, right outside of Teutopolis or Diederich.
Father grew up just 2 or 3 miles away from me. So Father, tell me about yourself a little bit.
Well, I'm the oldest of 8, so I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters, lots of nieces, nephews, and now great nieces and nephews. Just had a new niece a few days ago, or about a week ago, and her name is Alice Goeckner, after our grandmother. Grew up on a farm, did all of the farm work that was required in order to stay and live in the house, and I knew that I never ever wanted to be a farmer. So I always wanted to do something else, but I did all of those things on the farm as required.
Where did you attend junior high?
I attended Bishop Creek Grade School till 7th grade, and then went to Teutopolis Junior High our 8th grade year,
So you went to Teton High School, of course, right?
obviously.
What year did you graduate?
1981.
So after the high school career, where did you attend college?
So I began working at 3Z Printing, and then took classes at Lakeland. And then I got the seminary bug about 1988, so started praying about entering the seminary. Was never really totally convinced. I had plenty of people, especially from Bishop Creek and others in the Teutopolis area, that I should consider priesthood. I put it on the back burner. One person in particular I have to say was my former boss at 3Z, was Lorraine Saruzin, and she dogged me all of the time about priesthood. And I recall one morning after Mass, I would usually go to Mass at St. Francis, then go to work, and she came, stood next to me with a cup of coffee, and she said, "I'll make a deal with you. If you'll go to the seminary, at least try it. And if it doesn't work, I'll give you the same job back with a raise." It still took me another year to make that decision, but finally I did. And so in 1989, I started at St. Meinrad College Seminary. And told God, "You get 9 months, and after this 9 months, I'm going to go back to my life and probably continue to work at 3Z and just live in T-Town and do all the things that everybody does in T-Town." So 30 some years later, here I'm sitting as a parish priest, so
Wow, that's crazy.
God did work.
So now that you're a priest, talk about the process of becoming a priest. Where was your first assignment at?
Typically it takes a maximum or minimum of 8 years. So you need an undergrad, and then there's 4 years of major theology. Some people get further degrees, and that just depends on the individuals. So I attended St. Meinrad Seminary College, and then from there I went to Mundelein Seminary, which is in north Chicago, and graduated from there in 1995. And then May of 1995, I was ordained a Catholic priest for the Diocese of Springfield, Illinois. Then the next day, May 28th, I had my first Mass at St. Aloysius Church in Bishop Creek.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Describe some of your favorite churches.
Well, I'd have to say every parish that I've been assigned to would be my favorite churches. My first assignment was Our Lady of Lourdes in Decatur, along with St. Isidore in Bethany, Sacred Heart in Dalton City, Our Lady of the Holy Spirit in Mount Zion. I taught at St. Teresa High School for 6 years. I like to say that I entertained at St. Teresa High School for 6 years. Love my time in Decatur. Just great places, great churches, great communities. And then from there I went to, as my first pastorate, I went to all the way over to Robinson, to St. Elizabeth and Our Lady of the Lourdes in Oblong. And then I also worked at the prison in Robinson as a chaplain. So once again,
You've been all over the place.
yeah. And then from there, I was in Effingham Sacred Heart for 2 years, and this T-Town guy taught at St. Anthony High School for 2 years. And then from there, I took a sabbatical and went to Loyola University and studied pastoral ministry for about 9 months. And then from there I went to Liberty, which is right outside of Quincy, so St. Bridget and Camp Point, St. Thomas. I waited for this place to come open in 2007, so I've been at St. Boniface Church since 2007.
What are you excited, or what excited? What were you so looking forward to coming to this church?
It was a brand new church at that time. This was built in 2003, and I knew that Edwardsville, Glen Carbon, this area was growing. I love seeing progress. When I came to the parish, there was almost 1,000 families. Right now, we're over 1,700 families with about 6,000 people, parishioners. So I knew by coming here, it would excite me because I like seeing progress and growth. And there's been so much growth in the Edwardsville, Glen Carbon area, and it's still growing. So much growth in this parish, and it's still growing, and the other parishes as well in this area are growing. And then the possibility at that time, we're talking about a new Catholic high school. And so my experiences both at St. Teresa in Decatur and St. Anthony in Effingham, obviously I have a passion for Catholic education, K through 12, I should say pre-K through 12. And we didn't have that opportunity here in the Edwardsville Glen Carbon area. So a group of people got together and began planning for this new Catholic high school way back in 2006 before I started here. But as soon as I got here, I got on board, and I'm on the founders board and of course the president of the high school right now. But that's one of my many exciting moments in my priesthood here, seeing growth here, and also being a part of beginning a new Catholic high school. We started in 2012 with 19 students. And
wow.
This year we will be starting the school year with 250 students. So we're the only growing Catholic high school in the diocese.
So you've been here for 14 years. So in all, you've been a priest for 25 years. Okay. Describe what 25 years means to you, and did you have a celebration for that at all?
Well, half of my priesthood has been spent at St. Boniface Parish. And I love this parish. Just great people. I loved all of my parishes wherever I've been. But thinking about the past 25 years and knowing all of the people that I have met, and hopefully all of the people that I have cared for as a pastor, it continues to inspire me to live out the next 25 years of my priesthood. I did not have a public celebration. The parish planned one for June 7th, and it was going to be a parish celebration, and my family were planning one for the 30th of May, but then COVID hit. So I was not really a big fan about having those celebrations anyway. I'd rather just take a vacation and run off somewhere by myself, but then COVID stepped in and saved me. So what we did do is I had a virtual mass with the three guys that were here, Father Rob Johnson and Deacon Michael Trummer and Daniel McGrath, and then we went to my place and had dinner. So wow. It was very quiet, but it was good.
So when did you decide you for sure wanted to go into the priesthood?
Well, I've thought about priesthood since second grade. My second grade teacher was Sister Mary Alberta, and people have heard this story, but it's always worth retelling. It was the Friday before our first communion, and she was going around the room. There was only 7 in my class, and I think there were 12 other kids that were first graders, so we were all in one room together. But she asked us, so what do you want to be when you grow up? So we went around the room, and farmers, teachers, moms, dads, so I didn't say anything. So after school was over, she came up to me, and I remember very, very well. She wore a traditional veil, and she had cat-eye glasses. She put her hands on my shoulders, and she said, why didn't you tell anybody, why didn't you tell us what you want to be? And I stammered, and I said to her, I want to be like Father Garcias, I want to be a priest. And she looked at me and she said, every time you receive Holy Communion, you say 3 Hail Marys. And Jesus, and through the intercession of Mary, they'll guide you to where you're supposed to be. So ever since that day, I have always have said those 3 Hail Marys. And I think it's, through my rebel times and through the difficult times, the good times, the questioning times, I think that's what helped me stay connected to answering a vocation call. And so it's second grade, but it really wasn't really decided until like 1989.
Describe Michael Meinhardt entering the priesthood.
Well, it's so thrilling to see anybody come into the priesthood. I have a connection with not only Michael Meinhardt, but with Dominic Valling. His grandparents are my mom and dad's neighbors, and we share a cul-de-sac during holidays. Michael Trummer, who spent a year here with me as a transitional deacon, he's from Neoga. He had his first mass here a few weeks ago after he was ordained. But it makes my heart just swell to know that another individual from our parish, I believe Michael is the 6th priest from our parish. And just a ton of religious sisters that are from Bishop Creek Parish, like Sister Connie Prups and Sister Renita Brummer. They just sent me a card and said, we need to get Bishoppers, we need to get together and have a dinner and celebrate Bishop Creek and vocation. So we're going to do that. We're going to meet with the sisters and have dinner with Michael and myself and them. But I was thrilled to have Michael come here for a couple reasons. One, it's a great story. Right now at St. Boniface Parish, we have Father Paul Habing, who also is a graduate of Teutopolis High School, and then the two of us. So there's 3 priests here from Teutopolis High School. It's a great story, and it goes over about a generation of people, but it should say something also to the diocese and to the area that maybe not myself, but there's quality people answering the call to priesthood and religious life. So, and knowing that he'll be able to join me as a chaplain at Father McGivney High School will be nothing but a plus for our students. And even at our parish school at St. Boniface, he'll do great. And he and I are very much alike in many regards. And that could be a negative thing or it could be a positive thing. So we've even talked about that, and we've come up with a safe word, and it's crick. So our safe word is crick. So whenever that's called out, we know that we have to stop and relax a little bit and then come back in the conversation. But I don't expect us calling that safe word too often.
So speaking of Michael, when was his first Mass at this church?
He had his first Mass here last weekend, so Saturday night at 4:15. We welcomed him, prayed over him, gave him a blessing, and then he took all of the Masses and preached. And he's a great preacher. So he had the Sunday Masses too, and then he's in the saddle working.
It's pretty cool to have you two just grew up a couple miles away from each other in the Bishop Creek area. That's not something you see every day. So what is your favorite part of the priesthood?
Obviously, I love celebrating Mass. Sunday Mass is, vital, but some days those weekday Masses are pretty profound. Sunday can be a lot of activity, but I find myself really, really praying more deeply during a weekday Mass. But not that I don't on Sunday, but weekday Masses, and I love celebrating baptisms, especially during Mass. I like showing the community our new Christians, our new Catholics. I love witnessing weddings. I think that's so important to be able to connect with the couple and know that they're making a commitment not only to each other, but making a commitment to their faith, but also relationship with Jesus. And I really, really, really work with couples in helping them understand that is so vital for the success of their married life. Funerals, it may be, some people may think this may be odd, but I find that I enjoy helping people in their time of grief. I like being with them. I like sharing in their grief, and even follow up even after the funeral months later is to connect with people and make sure that if they need something from us or from me.
What is your favorite holiday Mass and why?
I'd have to say Holy Week. I just enjoy the whole week. I've been doing it for 25 years, so it's not a lot of pressure, so I can really pray Holy Week. And I find Holy Week services, especially the Triduum, is when the church is filled with people who really want to be there, and you just feel the presence of God in the community as they come together, and the church is just filled with the thunder of their voices, both in song and in prayer. I love, love, love Christmas Eve Masses here. In every parish I've been, Christmas Eve has always been very dear to me as a family, and then to be able to complement it with celebrating Mass and Christmas Eve that's an important holiday for me too.
How are you handling the quarantine?
Honestly, when it first started, the first 3 weeks were kind of great. I've never had 3 weeks off like that for 25 years. Of course I did Mass, but I hunkered down. And in Madison County, we're much more different than most of the rest of the state, besides outside of Chicago. But I believe right now there's over 1,000 cases here. And one of our parishioners, she was one of the first diagnosed with the disease, and she suffered with it, and then posted a video about her, about walking or going through the whole process of finally healing. So it really struck me that this is really, really close to home. And we've had parishioners diagnosed with the infection. So here, it's a little bit more different than you would be in Effingham County when there's 15 cases. So I'm pretty much of a stickler when it comes to observing the social distancing. My brother priest and even some of my parishioners call me Father Fauci. And I don't take offense to that because I want everybody to be safe. And we respect everybody's decisions on what to do, but around here, I've always promoted we're going to be safe rather than sorry. And it's because we live in a different place than most people. I saw my parents on Michael Meinhardt's first Mass for the first time since Christmas. I haven't seen any of my siblings probably since mid-January. And because I care about them, and I'd hate for something to happen because of me. So hopefully that's all going to change and I can get back up there, but Father Fauci's staying place.
Who has helped you along the way?
Obviously my parents, my brothers and sisters. I always say this, that it really, 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 really sucks to have a brother as a priest or an uncle as a priest. I can't imagine how sometimes they have to, deal with, oh, here he comes with his morals and going to church and things of that nature. But they've all been so terribly supportive, and deep down I think they're all very proud that they have a brother as a priest, especially when it comes to family weddings and baptisms, because obviously I'm always the first choice. And I love doing those things for my family. But I'm not my family's priest. I'm still their brother, son, and uncle. But they've been of great support. Any parish I've been in, I've always had great support. The people at Bishop Creek, when I first started seminary, and still to this day, I mean, I hear from people all the time, how proud and happy they are that another one of their sons of the parish is a parish priest. And Father Michael Meinhardt's going to experience that too. And we may not see those people all the time, but I do know that they're praying for us.
Yeah.
And not only from Bishop Creek, but for that whole area. My brother priest, I have great brother priests who are great friends, whether they're in this diocese or other dioceses that I've known over the years. They've been tremendous support, both in good times and in difficult times and challenging times. So those are my key supporters.
If you weren't in the priesthood, what occupation do you think you would be doing?
I'd probably still be working at 3Z printing and asking Lorraine Susan for another raise. I would probably, when you ask me that question, I guess I've never thought about it, what I would be doing. But if it wasn't priesthood, and I left St. Meinrad and went back to Teutopolis or Bishop Creek, that's probably where I would probably have been, right there and living out my life like everybody else.
Does any of your family ever come to this Mass in this church?
Oh yeah. My parents have been to every Christmas Eve Mass that I've had for the past 25 years.
But that feels pretty special.
Yeah, every Christmas, they've never missed a Christmas Eve Mass, no matter where I was.
That's another reason why you like Christmas Eve Mass too, I'm sure.
Yeah. And my brothers and sisters, they've been here, and family members,
Yeah.
They like to pass through here once in a while.
So, is there anything else you'd like to share that we didn't mention that you want to hit on big time?
I want to say this. It's about the value of priesthood and also the value of the Eucharist. The Eucharist and the priesthood are connected, and there's a reason. Without the priesthood, we can't have Eucharist. So I've really come to appreciate that and have a better understanding of that because I am a priest, but also knowing the value of the Eucharist for Catholics and how it nourishes and strengthens us. Especially, it's been very evident during this COVID time. Spiritual communion, what the church has offered, has been a real blessing. But when we started opening the church back up, people were walking into this building with tears because they missed this church. And this is a great community, and it has a family feel, even though we're very large. They missed that, but they also missed receiving the Eucharist. And I've heard that countless times. So what I want to say to anybody, young men or even older, if you've ever thought about priesthood, I dare you. If somebody had not said something to me, I'm not sure if I would have responded. I would probably still be working at 3Z. But because people asked me and encouraged me and nearly begged me, which I'm humbled, finally, I just said, yes, I'll try it. And I think the same holds true for anybody out there that's thinking that maybe I could do this. Just try it. And let the good Lord enter into your soul, and let the good Lord work whatever he needs to work with you. And I certainly thought that I would never be a priest after 9 months at St. Meinrad, but here I am, some 30 plus years later, sitting in one of the greatest parishes in the diocese and in a great growing community, and loving what I'm doing and serving God through serving my brothers and sisters and my fellow parishioners. So that's one thing I want to say to anyone out there that has ever thought about it. Just try it. And it's only help you better understand your relationship with Jesus, but also it may be an answer to a call that God is calling you to a different location.
For those watching, this church is huge, number one. Father, I appreciate you talking to me, and I look forward to talking to you later on.
Thank you.